Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please, if you haven't subscribed, could you please kindly click the subscribe button? If you have subscribed, Gloria Cheesy O is saying, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sometimes when I get some certain questions, or when I get to understand something from some certain persons, I realize that it's not something I should just tell the person alone. I realize that it is something that should be made known to everyone. I often talk about salt. I often talk about this, permit me to call it a crystal, this crystal called salt, because I know the power in this God's creation called salt. Ye are the salt of the world. The salt makes gives taste to our meal. The salt is used symbolically in several places in the Bible. Please permit me to, one of those places where the salt is used in the Bible is Leviticus 2:13. Leviticus chapter 2 verse 13. What does it say? Leviticus 2:13 says, and every offering of your grain, offering you shall season with salt. You shall not allow the salt of the covenant of your God to be lacking from your grain offering. With all your offerings you shall offer salt. With all your offerings you shall offer salt. That is Leviticus 2 verse 13. Now, that is to tell us how powerful salt is mentioned in several places in the Bible. Salt is used as a covenant. The Davidic covenant, that is David covenant. There's a place in the Bible where there's a covenant made with salt. Let's not go in there. Salt is very, very, very spiritually powerful. I have a video on the channel on how to prepare your spiritual salt. Please permit me to link it with this particular video so we don't go much into the preparation of spiritual salt. Now, that is not the only method you can use to prepare your spiritual salt. The first time I get to have a close, I don't know how to put it, but I haven't started my YouTube channel then. The first time I decide willingly that spirituality is not a sin before God, the first time I decide that spirituality is God's blessing to mankind, that I'm a Christian does not mean that I shouldn't be spiritually alert. Then I began my journey of spirituality, doing one thing or the other, cleansing and all that, the alligator pepper cleanse, the salt cleanse, burning bay leaf candle and all that. One day I went to the markets where they sell spiritual items to buy salt. I met this elderly, very old woman. Yes, I met her putting on her, I don't want to describe, I met the woman. I went to her, Mama, please, I want to buy spiritual salt. She said, spiritual salt? They went in search of spiritual salt they could not see. So I bought some things from her. When I bought some things from her, anytime I endeavor to have this still voice, listen to the still voice, the spiritual voice in you that speaks to you. Always listen to it. Listen to it when it is telling you no and when it is telling you yes. When it is telling you continue and when it is telling you stop. Listen. Sometimes this still voice speaks to us, but we just ignore it and take it like it's one of those things. No, not knowing that it is the voice of wisdom, the voice of God trying to tell you something. So when I bought some things from her, the voice in me told me, tip her something, just give her something. I don't know, I have this love for women, especially elderly women. I have this love for them, sorry to say, I don't know why. And I obeyed that voice in me. When I tipped her, paid for what I bought, she called me back. She said, come, my daughter. You know, one good thing about elderly people is they know how to bless you, they know how to pray for you. She prayed for me and blessed me. She said, let me teach you how to prepare a spiritual salt. I said, okay, Mama. So I was expecting Mama to tell me, bring this, add this, subtract this, then don't add this. She said to me, buy your salt. I said, okay, Mama. When you buy your salt, buy this type of regular salt or the native salt, anyone. She said, when you buy your salt, if you have a spiritual perfume, fine. If you don't have, just buy your white candle and light the white candle. When you light your white candle, bring the salt and read Psalm 34 into it. I say, okay, Mama. She said, when the candle is done burning, and you've read your Psalm 34 into it, there you have your spiritual salts. I was so grateful and happy for that piece of information. Now, believe me, if she hadn't given me that piece of information then, because then I have not really opened my heart to the things of spirituality, I just want to start. If she had not given me that piece of information, believe me, I'll come back the next day looking for spiritual salt to buy. And probably if I don't get to see it for 1 month, I may keep looking for spiritual salt to buy. Unknown to me that spiritual salt is something I can get close to. With this simple teaching of Mama, I went home, did as Mama said, bought my measure salt, and then light a candle and read my Psalm 34 into it. I started using this salt as my spiritual salt. The first day I used this salt, you know, like I say, we all have how we receive our spiritual informations and all that. Everyone has how they receive theirs. One of the ways I receive mine is I see myself sometimes doing some things in the dream. One, I see myself sometimes getting informations, directions from persons telling me do this. Then sometimes immediately I pick something like this, for example, and say I want to prepare spiritual salt. Probably when I picked it, I want to add this, I have this still voice that say no, don't add this, remove this, add this, subtract this. Everyone has the way they receive their I don't know the best language, message. Let me use the word message. So that was how I had my first spiritual salt taught to me by Mama. The first night I used that spiritual salt, oh my God, I had lots of revelation. In fact, I had revelation on how to prepare more spiritual salt. From that simple one, I had more revelations. Now, like I said, I will link a particular video I made after using Mama's and spiritual salt, and had another instruction on how to prepare another spiritual salt. I will link that video with this one, so you will learn how to prepare spiritual salt. Now, today, because of the questions I get, I know on this channel I've been telling us how to, yes, I've talked about how to prepare some salt. I've taught us how to prepare your spiritual black salt. Yes, on this channel I have taught us that. But I have been talking about use salt and add it. Today I am here to tell us how you can not just have a salt that you just use for spiritual purpose, how you can prepare your spiritual salt and keep it. Now, this is what I do. Most times I love to, even if I prepare a spiritual salt, adding every ingredient that needs to be added into it. Now, this is how I prepare my spiritual salt. Mostly I prepare a spiritual salt adding ingredients that take out negativity, and then also add ingredients that brings blessing. Now, the difference is when I want to use it, the addition of some other things I will add when I want to use it, we differentiate it from the one from negativity or positivity. Now, this is what I'm trying to say. When I want to have a cleansing bath that requires me, cleansing bath, you know, has to do with letting out negativity, letting out things you don't want, right? That is cleansing. Now, when I prepare a bath that has to do with cleansing and requires me to add salt, now when I add that salt, other ingredients that has to do with cleansing make it a cleansing bath, right? Now, Remember, from the same salt I have the mixture of cleansing ingredients and blessing ingredients is where I'm taking to add to cleansing bath. Now, when I want to have a blessing bath, I will take from the same salt. Now, what makes it different is the ingredient I will have in my blessing bath. Probably I have honey. I have what's this herb called? I have honey and Irish moss and other things. You understand? That has to draw in blessing. That makes the difference. But sometimes when I prepare a sauce, generally adding cleansing ingredient and blessing ingredient, I divide it into two again and leave it, and I divide it into two, then take one half of it and speak into it and say, this one, whatever I want to do for negativity, for evil to flush out and all that, I will use this. I'll charge it with ways of removing negativity. Then I'll take and say, this one, whatever I want to do with blessing, to bring me favor by the grace of God, I will charge it with ways of blessing. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here. Fine. Now, like I said today, I want to tell us a very simple way also you can prepare your spiritual salt. Very simple way you can prepare your spiritual salt. When you get your salt, please, when you get your salt, if you are a Christian, you read Psalm 56, Psalm 34 into it, Psalm 51, the Psalm of forgiveness. Have mercy on me, O Lord. You understand? Psalm 51. You read these 3 Psalms into this spiritual salt. If Psalm 91 is another powerful Psalm, you can read into it. Now, when you are done reading these Psalms into it, you burn a white and green candle round it. You can also burn a black candle round it. Okay, don't get confused. If you share the salt into 2, let's say you share one as for blessing and all that, burn a white and green candle. We have talked about how to purify your candle on this channel. Please check. You burn a white and green candle right round the one you want to use for blessing. Then the one you want to use for negativity, you burn your white and black candle. You understand? Now, while it is burning, you read these Psalms into it. If you have your spiritual perfume like the Divine Grace, Archangel Michael, what's it called? You can add them to it. This is very simple way for everyone or anyone, wherever you are, you can get this. Very simple. Now, the addition of other herbs is a thing of choice. You understand? The addition of other herbs is a thing of choice. You can add herbs like maybe blended bay leaf, black and pepper. I will link the video on how to prepare your spiritual salt with this one. Please go and watch it. I will link it. So when you prepare this, your simple and very effective spiritual salt, you keep it and start using it. Now, in the past, we have made the mistake of I wouldn't call it mistake. Not saying when you use ordinary salt, they don't work. No. But when you empower them and bless them through this means or whatever other means you can, that makes it more powerful. Salt is very, very powerful. I tell you, if other cleansing fail, you can try the salt cleansing. If you want to use other method of cleansing, like you want to use other method of higher cleansing, like the soap cleanser and all that, and probably you feel like spiritual items don't work for you, you can start with salt cleansing first before you now use any other product, spiritual product, for cleansing and letting out negativity. You can never go wrong with spiritual salt. It's a very, very powerful element. Do not miss this in your journey of spirituality. Do not mix out salt as one of your spiritual items. It's very, very good and very, very powerful. I don't want us to go deep into other ways you can use salt. Subsequently, we'll talk about that by God's grace. But prepare your spiritual salt in this spiritual and simple way to energize it for spiritual use. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. it's none other person but Gloria Chizzy. Oh, thank you.